So we're just going to start out by covering the outside of our box, which by the way is just a regular wooden chipboard type box that you can get from a local hobby store. And I went ahead and did a little bit, but just cover your ink blending tool with Distress ink, our favorite, and just start covering it. What's nice about Distress ink again is that you don't have to like try and get it perfect. You really just like get tons of it on your brush and really put it on thick, because it is going to dry a lot lighter than when you're putting it on. And with this project, we are not even trying to cover it like completely, so we have like some spots that are a lot lighter to give it just a really aged look. And just a note, I don't think I mentioned this before, this was done by our designer, Natalie. She comes up with the cutest little ideas for gifts to give. And I'm excited to be representing this project for her. You'll find I have to just continuously dip to keep the dark pattern going. And you could totally go ahead and do the inside a different color or the same color, do the bottom. For this, I'm just going to do the outside just to make it go a little bit faster. Now that we have all of our inking on our box, I'm just going to be applying some paper. This was some Cosmo Cricut paper, and we measured like the size of the box and how wide we needed our strip to be, and just cut a basic long rectangular shape. And I'm just going to be adhering it to the box with some glue and then going over it with some Mod Podge. For this, I'm going to be just using another one of our Zig glues that we carry here on our website, and it is two-way glue. This one, trying to see, is got a baby biggie tip is what they call it, and it's a great tool for this purpose because it has a really pretty big piece on it. I'm just going to push down a couple of times to get the glue flowing out. I would suggest doing it at the back so that when you come and it meets, you have the crease meeting in the back. And just work your way around. And what's nice is you're going to be going over it with decoupage, so you know that even if it's not sticking that well, it'll stay on once you have the decoupage over it. I'm going to apply the same type of paper on the top of the lid, which we actually used by cutting it out on the expression with the George and Basic Shapes. It's just a regular oval. Apply it to the lid. Now that our paper is applied to our box, I'm going to go ahead and do a process that isn't going to be added on until the end of the outside, but I just want to go ahead and do it so it has some time to dry while we're doing the rest. But it's just the top of the butterfly that's on the top of the box. We added some glossy accents by Ranger, just to harden it a little bit to where it would last longer and wouldn't rip or anything like that. We do have these on our website. It's a new item we just started carrying. There's glossy accents, there's a crackle one, there's matte. So there are 3 different types that we have available. And you're just going to kind of run over it and cover the whole butterfly. And it will dry clear. When you first put it on, it kind of covers up your butterfly and it has like a bluish white color to it. But we're just going to cover it completely. And once I get that on there, I'm just going to set it to the side. And it will curl as well, which is kind of nice because I want it to look like it's flying. So I have that done. Now I'm just going to apply our butterflies to the outside of the box, and I'm going to be using Mod Podge. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually use the Mod Podge as a glue and put my brush inside here. Actually, it might be easier if I go ahead and put it on a plate. And this is white, but again, it's going to dry clear. And just put it on. These are butterflies that we just printed off the computer. And as always, you could get some from your Cricut and cut out and make your own custom butterflies. We wanted to have a little bit of a vintage look, so we found some butterflies online and just printed them out. And another step that we already did, because it does take a while for it to dry, is on each butterfly. I don't know if you can see from here, but we applied stickles very lightly to add a little bit of detailing to each of the butterflies. So I did that a couple hours ago because stickles take a little while to dry. So just pick out different butterflies and apply them in just random places on the box. And it doesn't matter if it gets on the front of the butterfly because they're just going to be covering it with the Mod Podge anyway. And just have your butterflies. And if you can't, if I didn't mention before, I'm using the craft mat underneath so that any of my glue or any of the products that I use today will just come right off and make my cleanup a lot easier. Almost done. You can actually just apply it to the box if you want, instead of putting it all over your fingers. One more little guy. Now that I have my butterflies attached, I'm just going to go over the whole box with the Mod Podge to seal it in and keep everything in place. And it'll look totally different once it's dried. We did 2 coats on this. For the sake of time, I'll just do 1, just to kind of show you how to do it. But once it's dried, normally you would maybe want to put another coat. Just depends on how thick you want it on there. There really isn't a wrong way to do this. I'm also going to be applying the Mod Podge to the lid. Now that we have all of our Mod Podge on our box, the next step is going to be adding what is called a bread tag to the top of the box and using some ribbon to attach it.